So guys, if you saw yesterday's video, you know I was having trouble with my Z height, and so I've lapped down, put aluminum foil over this to keep this protected because I don't want this to lose its flatness. And then I used up to 400 grit to lap this. And when you get a good lap and you have a very flat part, you should get a little bit of suction between the two parts. And it's not a lot, but there's definitely some here. Well, not that time. There we go. It's a little bit of pop to get it off, which is awesome. So this is nice and flat, and I did the other side as well. And this other side actually almost feels flatter, but I'm thinking they're about the same. So now we're gonna come in here with this, set that to 0, and we'll sweep it around and see what my error is. It came off as 0, but okay, we're at 2 thou there. All the way over here is at 4.5. It's more like 2.5, 4.5, 4.5. Let's see the middle. Mostly 4.5. So it looks like we have a little bit of a low spot right here, right where that is right now. I'm not sure if you guys can see the dial moving around or not, but so it's pretty flat. Should get me within 1 thou, which is great. Yeah, there's a low spot right there, somewhere over here. Cool. So now I should be able to get, because these are, the problem I was having before is I couldn't even get it probably would have been accurate enough, and you know, maybe lapping it in was not necessary. The problem is that these two are at a different level. Right now they're smooth. I can't feel a line between them. Like barely feel a tiny little thing. I also super glued this to keep it from wobbling around. Even though this is probably Delrin, so the glue doesn't stick that well. There's so much surface area that it should be okay. So there's very little movement between this. So now I can grab just I could use a micrometer, or I could use a pair of calipers, but I can measure between here and here, and that should be a representative measurement for the entire height of this, and I can put that into my machine and hopefully get this thing more accurate, because it wasn't, I think my measurement was off before. So now that should be nice and very accurate, so that's cool. Okay, just probed. I hope you're able to see that. That nut might have been in the way, but that's okay. I'm gonna scoot you over here. So now what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna do a sanity check with my DRO and make sure we're about in the right area. Okay, that looks about right. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to inches here. I'm gonna put this underneath it, and I'm gonna set this to move to 5 thou above the surface we just measured, and that should, well, it shouldn't actually touch it, because that's, well, it might like barely graze it if I move it around. So G54, just Z5. That seems pretty good. Seems pretty close. So now if we move down 1 thou, we should be catching. Haha! Okay guys, that's fucking perfect. That's like fucking perfect. This works. Look at that, that's amazing. That's amazing. That is accurate, very accurate to within the thousandths of an inch. That's exactly what I wanted to see, is now I can't really feel it right here at 5 thou, and at 4 thou, it's catching, which is the exact thickness of this paper, which means this thing fucking works. That was awesome. What up guys? I'm filming at a high frame rate, so I may look kind of jerky in my motion. Or I guess shutter rate, not frame rate. I actually don't know how that works. Anyway, I was working today, trying to work. Tim came over to watch me machine because he loves machining. I did the facing pass, and then some power station in northern Colorado got hit by lightning. We had so much rain. I accidentally left my shop door open for like 2 minutes to get inside, and it just, there's water, like ½ inch of water on the floor. Had to dry everything off. Kind of crazy. Power's been out for like an hour and a half. Apparently like 2,000 homes are without power. And I gotta say, it's weird not to have anything to work on. Like, all my CAD is gone. I mean, I could start working on the other CAD, but me and Tim even started talking about the CAD and what was the best way to machine. I ended up testing one of his things, and I don't think it's the best way to do it. So confirmed that, gave up on it, and still can't cut. It's weird. That part is out of tolerance. I can talk to you really quick about what I will do in order to keep that in tolerance. What I'm gonna do, I think, is what's happening is these clamps over here, even though it's potato chip this way, you think it would pull down and be really flat, but the clamps on the end are pulling down, I guess, so much it's causing it to potato chip the other way, which is really weird. So I think I'm gonna do is go to like either 1/2 or 3/4 inch MDF and use that and essentially put, I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use a combination of painter's tape and super glue, which is like a thing that, as long as it's really clean, that New York CNC does a lot. And hold down the MDF and material that way. and then that'll give it a lot more rigidity because of the increased thickness, I think. It will keep everything kind of held down more, and hopefully negate some of those movements from the clamps. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that'll keep that warping and stuff out, and if I'm using flat material, this piece of material is also kind of shit. It's fucking potato chip and stuff. I'm just trying to get through it. It's out by 40 thou in the middle, which is quite a bit, but they're struts, and I can kind of hold them into place and weld them into place, or I can make new ones since it's, you know, using a crummy piece of metal. Both are options. I'm still planning to cut this, even though it's like pretty high out of tolerance. Like I said, I think I can make it work, and it'll give me a chance to practice. So I'm being frugal. So I don't have much money, and you know, Iron Man built his first suit in a cave. This is kind of my cave, which is not like a real cave because I live in a nice house that's owned by my parents. But I do have no money, so I live in an economic cave, and I have to crawl my way out. I gotta tell you, it's kind of nice having all the lights turned off and everything shut down. It's very peaceful. Yeah. All right, I'll let you guys know what happens. That was creepy. All right, bye.